Hey guys, it's Nick with a video on Super Mario Run. This will be our final review and impressions of the game, focusing primarily on where we think they went wrong, although this might just be harping on some issues. I think it's important when the game is $10 to focus on, what's bad. I mean, it's pretty easy to know the good stuff. It's a Mario game, I mean, for the most part. And we'll see that as we get into the review. But yeah, I mean, overall I enjoyed playing the game, although I feel that there's a massive lack of content and a few places where they really dropped the ball. I mean, jumping into the special courses, these are the courses you get when you unlock or get all of the special colored coins through the main game. 120 in all for the pink, 120 for purple, and 120 for black. So far I've gotten the pink and purple, working on the black. The problem with these courses is they're pretty much just coin grabs. I mean, there's not really much purpose to them, and it even tells you as you jump into the game that the color coins don't matter. This is a quick look at the purple one, where it is clear that you actually have a big disadvantage being Mario. You actually need some unlocked characters, even just to get the purple. Yoshi primarily is your main one, but you can't even get to Yoshi through normal character selection. You have to go to your notebook, you have to go to characters, then select the character you want to be, then select the special course, and then you can play as a new character. Yoshi has the special ability of flutter kicks, but he can also step on spikes, which for whatever reason is the same type of damage that the flowers do. So on this kind of a level, Yoshi excels greatly, but the point being, is it really worth it? I mean, I have thousands of coins, and I believe close to 17,000, and have nothing really to spend them on, because the unlocks are a little ridiculous and mostly depend on your performance in Toad Rally, and the coin cost really just doesn't matter. Now, when playing through, I will say it, like I said, it is overall enjoyable. And they give you some variety. So this is a look at the pink, purple, and black coin courses side by side in World 1-1. Now you'll notice that for the most part, the train, the mobs, their generation all stays the same. There's some subtle variance to the mob generation, but for the most part it is the same. I did try to do my best to keep them in sync with each other. It's a little difficult doing it across 3 different games. But as you can see, for the most part, the only thing that really changes are the bricks and then some coin spots. So it's really hard to say that it's even worth it. I mean, when I was playing through, it at least felt like there was some variety. It wasn't just 6 worlds, because the 6 worlds don't take long. We'll see that as we jump into this next Bowser section. There are a lot of problems with the main game just being easily beatable. I mean, if you're not going for coins, you can essentially beat the entire game probably within one sitting. And a lot of that is to do with an exploit you can use when fighting the boss, and we'll see that in this video. The main thing you want to do is make sure you're Mario. Mario has a good ability, of course, as everyone knows. He can eat the mushroom, and he gets a lot bigger in size. Now with these bubbles, as you'll see, I'll die a lot in this section without actually dying, just because the bubbles keep me alive, keep me in the around the same area. Even after I make so many stupid mistakes, I'm still able to pass and continue on with the level. And even when you have mushroom, there's no kind of penalty for hitting something. You pretty much just go immune for a few seconds, and you're able to end, or you're able to continue going forward. And this is a problem, especially as you see there is always a mushroom right before you get to the boss every time, which makes the boss battles insanely easy, because as we'll see here, Bowser will start and he'll do his jump. I will just run straight through, go get shrunk. I'll lose some coins, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm able to get through, and even with all of those mistakes I made earlier, as you see, it is 47 seconds left on the clock. We started at 90, and I died. I didn't technically die, but I got hit and put into a bubble 3 times. And this was a boss level. This should be one of the hardest levels. So it seems a little lackluster, and you don't get the feeling of accomplishment even when you beat the final boss. In fact, the final boss, you could probably have him beat in about 30 seconds. I haven't done a speed run on him yet, but it just takes 3 hits, and he's right at the beginning of the level. So it really does not take much skill to beat. And so the game seems to really rely on Toad Rally, and that's where we run into our next issue. Getting new characters is extremely hard. Yoshi I just initially got after playing Toad Rally for enough. After getting my castle to about a level 5 or so, I unlocked him, because I had enough Toads. Luigi isn't even on my radar just because of how long it's going to take to get him. And then, of course, you have Toadette, who's one of the hardest ones to get. But if you unlock her, her special ability is you get higher scores in Toad Rally, which is a little ridiculous. And completely, justifies why you see some people who have about, 8,000-9,000 Toads in Toad Rally. And you're like, well, I'm never going to be able to get to that. And it's like, well, no. I mean, not until you get Toadette. And then apparently you get to cheat the system a little bit. It makes it a little bit more unbalanced. And then, not to mention, even with the rally system, as you'll see, I can open up the rallies over and over and over again. And I still get the same 4 people. I have no way to renew the list. I have no way to even search for a favorite level. I get what I get, and that's kind of the weird part, because one of their big selling points is you unlock more Toad Rally levels every time you beat a world. I beat all the worlds, and every time I beat a world, I was told you've unlocked 4 new maps or something like that. And for whatever reason, I've only ever seen 5 maps in Toad Rally. Now you get the list of 4, but I mean, overall, I have not seen any of these other maps. I've only ever seen 5 different maps in that list, even though I should have, at least 2 dozen. It seems really weird to me, especially considering that the main game can be beaten in 1 sitting. Now, getting the coins takes longer. It took me a few days to get all the pink coins. It took me about maybe a week, and this is just playing randomly, to get the purple coins. And I'm still working on the black ones, but I'm not working on them that hard, because some of them are to the point where it's like, okay, well, just like with the purple coins, I had to have Yoshi unlocked for some levels. I'm assuming I have to have Luigi unlocked to get some of the coins too, because some of them are really hard to reach areas, and I'm guessing Luigi is probably the character required, even though they don't necessarily say that. It was one of those things that was really apparent when trying to get the purple coins that I needed the flutter kick to get some coins that Mario just couldn't reach no matter how many times you try to make the jump. It's just legitimately a jump he can't make. And overall, that's frustrating. I mean, the fact that the boss fights don't feel like boss fights. I mean, Bowser is so unbelievably easy to beat. It's not like in regular Super Mario, or even the old school Mario games, where it took quite a bit more, you had to time your jumps right, and it was difficult. Now it's just make sure you have a mushroom going in and just run straight through them. You're fine. No problems. In fact, the airships are the harder levels. I mean, I can't remember what his name is, but the boss in the airship ones, you have to jump on his head 3 different times. Even on some of the levels, they have fire hazards to prevent you from hiding in the corners. You got to keep running. And those are actually difficult. I mean, they're not the hardest. I mean, I've only died to an airship boss, I think, twice, but it's not as easy as just have a mushroom going in and just run straight through. You actually have to deal with them. You have to do the classic 3 head top thing to beat them. And yeah, so I mean, it's really disappointing for a $10 game. So, is it worth $10? That's a good question. I would say, honestly, no, but I can see why it's being sold for that. I mean, at the same time, you have to remember, this is Nintendo. This is done with partnership through Apple. I mean, all of the spotlights they got from Apple, all the pushing they got from Apple, that costs money. That's not a free thing. And Apple could have done it for free as a mutually beneficial. This is going to sell really well, so we'll give you a bunch of free advertising to help push your product so we make more at the end of the day. But you have to remember that this is a premium product, and it's their first mobile title. And I think they failed horribly. I understand why they charged $10. I think if they could have kept it a little bit more in line with Mario, it would have been a lot better. But I mean, you don't feel like you have to do anything. I mean, the fact of the matter is, he pole vaults over enemies with no problem. I mean, you can literally just run as long as you avoid the gaps. You don't have to do anything. And yeah, it's disappointing. As someone who's been a very long time Mario fan, who grew up on the NES playing Mario, I was a very young kid. It is disappointing to see this game as poorly thought out as it is. I still enjoy the game. I'm going to keep the game on my phone. They have been releasing updates. They've been adding new things. They have a friend rally now. And I'm hopeful that maybe in time we'll get some updates that really make it more fun. Maybe some new rally maps, or a new type, maybe a new world or something like that down the road. It's yet to be seen how the game's going to be supported moving forward. I mean, they've certainly made enough money to justify continuing development of the game and adding more levels and making that $10 worth it. And I think over time, if they did add worlds, if they did add new rallies, or just, I don't know, they just keep adding content, this could definitely be worth $10. But because this is a new game, the first of this kind of a game for Nintendo on a mobile platform, we don't have history to go off of, and without having history to go off of, we can't be sure just how the game's going to be supported in the long run. But overall, I did enjoy my time playing. I don't regret the purchase. It's just something that I wouldn't advise to my friends to pick up. I'd probably say, well, definitely play the first world, but unless you're wowed by it, it doesn't get better. It's exactly what you see in that first world. The things you can do in that first world is exactly what you get in the full version. And if that first world is worth $10 to you, then buy the game. But if you don't get the enjoyment out of it, I didn't, and based on the people I've talked to, they haven't either. It's probably not worth it. But anyways, guys, this has been my review of Super Mario Run. Thank you guys so much for watching till the end. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you don't. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them below. And as always, I've been Nick, and I'll catch you guys next time.